Hello to all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear and listening into another 3DS Game Ideas video. And this one is going to be about Resident Evil Deadly Silence 2. Or Resident Evil 2 Deadly Silence, I should say. I've played the first Deadly Silence, the one that they put out on the DS, which is just a remake of the original Resident Evil. I liked it. It still was the same game, but it felt different because it had different perspectives, and then there was the remix mode where all the items were flipped around and stuff like that. So I would love to see them do the same thing with Resident Evil 2, but again, for continuity's sake, I would want them to put in the EX files that were in the 64 version of Resident Evil 2 that never ended up in any other Resident Evil game, that kind of connected the first two games in the series to Resident Evil 0. So I want that stuff to be put back in there, and like random Easter eggs that make mention of the first Resident Evil and of Resident Evil 0. Like, let both of those things have mentions in this version of this Deadly Silence Resident Evil 2. And then on top of that, they could add in the over-the-shoulder perspective, like with reservations, revelation. Wow. Which would actually, I think, would be a benefit for some situations, like when you have a boss fight where you have the option to select it. Not where it's forced on you, but where you have a choice in the matter. Because some people may want to continue playing the game in the classic style, which I don't think that should be inhibited. But there may be others who want to have the over-the-shoulder look and be able to run around with the camera behind their character. That should also be an option. Both of those things should be allowed. Otherwise, I'd say keep the same exact formula that they had for Deadly Silence, the original Deadly Silence that was on the DS, and just take that formula, move it over to the 3DS, make the game look a little bit better, and there you go. It's not a whole lot that they have to do to the game. But and I'd also want them to have all of the different modes that were spread across the different versions of Resident Evil 2, like the hunk and tofu modes and the battle coliseum. Put all of that in the game because it's possible. It's not like it wouldn't be capable of having it all on there. These are old games from like the 90s. If you can't get all that stuff in them now on a 3DS, there's an issue. I would also like for them, even though I know it's not likely, but it would be cool if Capcom could put some like Easter eggs in there that reference Resident Evil 1.5. Just like talk about the missing character of Elza Walker. Like, just have files in the game that kind of just reference her and like make her part of the continuity, but like not a character you've ever met. Which, like that to me, I like that type of stuff. They put little things like that in the game where you find something like that, like, oh, so she was a patient in the hospital in this particular room or something, like just some stuff that they could just throw in there at random. It'd be like, it doesn't have to be anything big or major, but just like little informational spoilers that would make the lore fit together in a better cohesion. My words, I swear. And I would love them to redo all of that horrible voice acting. I mean, leave a mode in there where you can have the original voice work, but please have a redone voice cast. I'm sorry. It was just so many times where you hear that stuff and it just makes your ears want to bleed. I'm sorry. I can't do it too much. There are certain moments where the dialogue will catch you and it's hilarious, but then there's other times where it just drones on, and I think that it could really use some redone voice work. But gosh, there's not really a whole lot more I want to say or add to this. I'd have an added remix mode in again, like where all the items and stuff are moved around, so that you have to kind of take on challenges differently. But other than that, that's really it, because there's not a whole lot that they, again, Resident Evil 2 still in and of itself is, like, to me, the best game in the Resident Evil series. Like, it's the best game in the series, followed by 3 and then 1, as far as my opinion goes. But still, I think either way, there's just so many opportunities to go back and like fix like continuity errors with the games, and like update them and bring it back up. Like, if they're going to keep doing remakes of these games, at least fix freaking continuity and make it more interesting. But there we go. That's it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears up for more stuff from me. And until the next time, please enjoy your games and peace out. And I'm sorry for getting so tongue-tied on you guys.